Good morning, everybody. This is a great day for Washington State. What we're here today is really about making sure that we have a Senate that functions. The public out there is hungry for us to come together, to work together in a collaborative manner, and that's exactly what this coalition is trying to accomplish. We want a cooperative relationship and making sure that we work across party lines. If you look at, and I think you have some documents, if you look at the governing principles, this is very simple. We have come together as a coalition to work on promoting job growth in a vibrant economy, making sure that we have a world-class education system here in Washington State, and doing that in a sustainable budget. If you look at the way that we've accomplished this, and I think all of you at this point have the committee structure, we've really gone to an unprecedented format here in the Washington State Senate. We will have, as far as policy committees, 6 Democratic chairs of those policy committees. We will have 6 Republican chairs, and then we will have 3 co-chairs. In each of those committees, when you look at it, there is no more than a 1-vote majority in any of those committees. And again, the whole thing is structured around, we want this to be a cooperative arrangement, governing from the middle, governing from the center, and that's what the citizens here in this state expect. I think also, as we go forward, we will build on this coalition. Right now we have 25 Senate members. But I think if you look at those governing principles, when you're talking about job growth, when you're talking about a great education system and a sustainable budget, and really focused at the values and needs of middle-class citizens here in Washington State, it's a coalition that I think can reach out to all members in the Washington State Senate, and we will look forward to your questions after my colleagues have their comments.
Thank you, Senator Tom. I'm Senator Marc Sessler from the 9th Legislative District, the Republican leader, and I couldn't be prouder to be here with you today. This is the sort of cooperation people are hungry for. We want to do things different than the other Washington. Anyone that looks what's going on in the other Washington knows we need to do something different here, and we propose that. In the past, some of us, just in this group and in the Senate, have been on different sides of issues. But on the priorities of the Majority Coalition, we stand together, and we're going to continue to stand together on jobs, education, and budgets. Senator Tom mentioned the committee structure. Committee chairs will be different too. They will represent all of Washington, including the suburbs, Eastern Washington, Southwest Washington, to reflect the 39 counties in the state of Washington, and we do have that. That's a truly representative government. That's what we seek. I look forward to showing you that the Senate, we can put politics aside and provide a responsible, bipartisan approach to the coming session. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Linda Parlett. I am the Republican Senate Caucus Chair. I come from the 12th Legislative District in North Central Washington, representing 4 North Central Washington counties. Some may think these are uncharted waters, but actually there was a bipartisan coalition in the House about 50 years ago, and that strengthened the state. This should be viewed as a step forward, evenly dividing our governing structure across party lines. Really, what are the alternatives? Going to the 9th order all the time? Nobody really likes that. There is a much better approach where we can be upfront about it and find areas of commonality and move forward. Former Governor Evans will tell you that the roads in our state are not Republican roads and they are not Democrat roads. They are just roads. Good ideas don't have an R or a D next to them. They are just good ideas. And we need good ideas, how to promote job growth, how to address support for K-12 education, how to protect the most vulnerable, and empower middle-class families. This coalition, which we call a power-sharing coalition, will be free to look at ideas from a policy standpoint first and foremost. This should be a huge step in the right direction. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Senator Tim Sheldon, and I'm starting my 23rd year in Olympia. I'm always excited about coming down here each year, and this is one of those great occasions. It is rare for one side of the aisle to entrust a committee to someone else from the other side of the aisle, but it can work. And I can personally attest to that principle. In 2003, the Republicans had a majority here of 25 to 24. Senator West was the majority leader. And I was appointed the chair of the Economic Development Committee, a Democrat. Chair of the committee, all the other committees were Republicans. Did it work? I think so. We passed some very meaningful rural economic development legislation, some bills that dealt with the Community Economic Revitalization Board, and some other bills. So I think this will work. I can personally attest to that. The committee structure put forth by the Coalition Caucus is a great way to bring more perspective and better geographical representation to the lawmaking process. Senator Sessler mentioned that, and I believe that under this proposal we will have great diversification in representation across the state. And it also brings compromise, and it finds common interest areas that we can all agree on. And I don't believe that if we didn't have a bipartisan coalition that formed during the end of last session, that we would have any reforms. The reforms that were passed are just a beginning, and I don't believe that we would have been able to negotiate with the House very well without that coalition being formed. And I might add that that final budget passed out of the Senate by 44 to 2. And the Coalition Caucus is the surest path to more reforms and a sustainable budget for next year. And I'll add too, this is not unique to Washington State. Take a look what's happening in New York State today. There's also a coalition being formed to address the many problems that we have in other parts of this country as well. And as is said, we certainly are not going to be the Washington, D.C. of statewide politics here in Washington State. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Senator Ann Rivers from Washington's 18th Legislative District. As a senator just elected from the House of Representatives, I am thrilled beyond words to see that we'll be working together with our colleagues from both sides of the aisle. I'm always open to new ideas, and I'm willing to work with anyone to solve problems facing our communities and our state. And I know my colleagues that are here with me today are equally committed to that idea. Senator Sessler talked about committee chairs. This is a very important point. This new structure will mean better representation for all of the people across our state. The committee chairs proposed by the Senate Democrats were almost all from King County. The structure that we have proposed will ensure that we have committee chairs from all corners of Washington, and that's good for everyone in our state. People everywhere are crying out for their leaders to take this type of collaborative and equitable approach. Really, it's what they deserve. And that's exactly what we intend to do. Thank you so much for allowing me to make these comments to you today.